But they're trying to say this Sir. Is this the same name?
I don't know. Elon Musk sent the car to space, to low orbit. I think it's the same name, no?
It's very similar, but it's, I think, Sergey. How do you say that?
Where I don't see it. Sergey. Yeah, Sergey Krikalo. No, it's a different one. Stranded in space during the collapse of the Soviet. No, it's not the same. It's not the same story. That guy was like stuck when Soviet Union fell. It's not the same story. No, I'm talking for someone from the 70s. Okay, when they had the space race.
Vladimir Komarov.
Yeah, I think that's the one. He stuck in space. He just left the body of them. They couldn't pick him.
לא, יש תמונה של הגופה שלו, מה שנשאר ממנה.
שהוא בתוך החליפה של האסטרונאוט.
לא, ולדימיר קומרוב הזה, שים את השם שלו ואתה תראה את התמונה.
לא, אז רגע, אני אמצא לכם את השם שלו עוד הפנדה.
זה מה שהיא סיפרה, דני, על ההוא שלא רוצה לצאת למשימה, כי ידעה שהיא מסוכנת.
I agree with Hannah.
אתם יודעים שמקליטים אותנו, נכון?
What do you say about me? What's going on? That I need help?
למטה.
איך אתה יודע?
כי זה מה שהוא עושה.
מי זה?
סאבסקרייב.
מה אתה להקליט
It's
אותה?
Edmund. Hey, are you gonna come talk to us?
Or just record us. Of taking plastic bottles and turning them into diamonds, and I think that might actually be something of value. We'll just consider them building blocks, and we can rebuild Gaza with diamonds. Don't you think that would be beautiful?
Okay. That's fine. So in other words, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, Eitan, you go ahead.
Ladies first, and I'm not completely formulated my question yet anyway. By the way, is that offensive to say ladies first anymore?
No, I'm not offended by it.
No, of course not. Absolutely not. You can still be a man in America.
There you go. Unless you live in Maine and you haven't gotten out of the books that men could play in women's sports.
We haven't been totally castrated at the word.
Oh, what? So, right, so Sean again, say Sean, right, do you live in the States?
Currently, yes, I do.
Currently. Okay, same here. So, for instance, if for some reason Canada attacked the United States, right? Obviously the United States would give them impounding and so on, but we would create ultimately, we would create a much larger buffer zone, even though, Canada runs the length of the United States, right? A very large buffer zone. But this is not what's happening on the border with Gaza. The buffer zone is, yay small. And that's troubling.
Well, the zone with Gaza extends for a few kilometers, but if I remember, Gaza is only between 7 and 25 kilometers wide.
Yes, and yet they're capable of wreaking so much havoc.
What if we just made it a great palace, a wonderful place to live, the most prized place to live on the planet.
It could have been, but it could have been. That was the idea, right? This is why Israelis left, basically unwillingly when it was called Gush Katif. That was the idea, right? And that didn't really work out because that was Israel's idea, but that wasn't Hamas terror organization's idea.
What is their idea? We know what
their idea was yet another launching pad to destroy Israel. That was their idea.
They're not going to go out though. I mean, all this talk about making it a Riviera, it's just not going to happen. They're not going to want to leave.
I know.
No one's going to want to leave.
I wouldn't say no one.
Sorry, I just wanted to say that I think it was a tactic of Trump's to put pressure on Hamas, to release the hostages.
Yeah, this is Trump card or whatever they call it. No pun intended there.
Guys, more importantly than Gaza, more importantly in my mind anyway, where I struggle is with mana. I'm not sure where mana comes from. I'm sure that it's some kind of grace from God, but I still don't understand the whole idea of mana.
Mana?
Mana from heaven, right?
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. בואו נראה לי מתחבר.
Okay,
Stray away from the politics. But when I was a kid, I was told that when they were in Sinai or the deserts and they were walking, and they could just imagine what taste of the food they can have. It could be manna from heaven. We actually have a song about manna from heaven.
So is this like Willy Wonka or the Jetsons kind of thing? I don't know.
I remember that from the Jetsons. They used to order these little pills, right? I want steak and fries or something like that. They would get that pill.
Either do you follow the news here? That tomorrow,
Yep.
supposed to release.
Yeah.
Base.
Yep.
I don't know what's gonna excuse me. I don't know what's gonna happen with Sherry Bibas. I'm very worried.
So in the last 2-3 minutes, it's been all over the internet that they found her and they're gonna release her. So I don't know what to believe. Not sure. אבל אני מסכימה לך שהוא סתם מרבה לנו את המוח.
Who is
חבר שלך.
Trump? No.
איתן!
No. I just thought that maybe we talked about something else other than politics because it just seems that some people want to move on to something more pleasant. But whatever.
I don't think that Smiat Israel is speaking about politics per se.
Say what?
I don't think speaking about Israel is speaking about politics per se.
No, we're talking about Gaza, this and that.
Yeah. Well, but that's the title, Great Israel.
All right, no problem.
That's what it is.
Let's talk about building huge cinder blocks out of plastic.
You see what I mean?
אז תאמין לי, אין לי סלון בשבילו היום. אז אני זזתי. Oh, yeah. Well, it's going to be either yes or no, because you know why? Because here's Shabbat starts in an hour and a half. That's pretty much all I got. And so
you want to...
Let's switch to your book.
כן, הוא צודק, איתן.
Well, since when am I right? What's that all about?
Shabbat Shalom.
Well, we got a lot of people in the room.
Shabbat Shalom.
We should talk about something about Shabbat.
מה קורה, יגאל?
בסדר. מה אתה אומר, מחר הם משחררים את שירי ביבס או לא?
לא יודע. We have English speakers in the room. Do we want to talk English or Hebrew?
איתן לפעמים,
I know. Go ahead.
באמת.
All right.
only bleu, c'est absolument.
It doesn't upset me.
מה פתאום?
Mommy's mad.
מה פתאום? רק אני אומרת לך, לפעמים יהודים רוצים לדבר, הם יהודים, במיוחד הם...
I'll tell you what I think about this UD business.
לא רוצה לשמוע. אם אתה מדבר באנגלית וזה, אני לא רוצה לשמוע. אני לא רוצה לשתף הזאת עם כולם.
My esteemed colleague would prefer that I speak the holy language. So I will do that and then I will translate.
טוב, יאללה, שבת שלום.
תתחילי לסיים משפט בבקשה.
אבל אתה לא... אני אסיים.
אני... בשבוע הבא אולי נפתח חדר גם, ואנחנו נעשה חדר של שבת. אני אולי אקרא קידוש, אני אדבר על פרשת שבוע, אני אשים איזה שיר של שבת. זה יהיה כאילו נחמד לשבת.
יפה.
That's all I wanted to say. What?
אני מאוד נחמד, אני דווקא שקרה.
It's possible to maintain our Jewish identity and not talk about all this, stuff on Shabbat. But whatever, I'm not going to tell people what to do, but...
כן, אבל בדיוק בימים האלה...
לא, אני בטוח. I didn't mean to take away from that. No. I didn't mean to do it.
תן לי רגע רק לסיים. החבר שבא עם המשפטים ההזויים שלו...
Okay, you're right. Sometimes I bend over backwards.
קצת מוזר, איפה אתה מוצא את עצמך בשיחה הזאת, אתה מבין? זה לא...
אתה זה קובע את האופי של החדר ואני זורם את נקד. אין בעיה, אני זורם עם כולם, אז... לא יודע למה הוא נכנס לחדר של דוברי עברית, אבל אולי מישהו פה ספציפי, אבל...
הוא בא אליך, בוא נקרא לילד בשמו.
Yeah, we'll take that. That's right. Okay. So, in my other room, I was going to do the crossword puzzle Hebrew and English, but we figured out that wasn't going to be... The Hebrew speakers know both languages better.
Do you want to give it a shot?
Wow, I like that PTR that Susanna has. I used to sell shoes. Okay, where were we? Okay. Do we want to give it a shot? Okay, let's give it a shot here. Okay, I got a 3-lettered word for dear. Like, something is dear to me. What is the Hebrew word? Okay, very good. You got it, okay.
באנגלית, ואמרתי לה, צריך לעזאזל דיר ושלשתי עוד 4 אותיות.
Okay, how about 3-letter word for here? Like in, I live here.
How many words?
Khan, okay, well, that's got 2 already, she's ahead.
Wow, okay, יום חדה.
Okay, how about, I'm going to start with the easy ones first. Okay, fate, like, this is your fate.
גורל.
Okay, very good.
Wow, yeah.
Regions, we have the plural. 6 letters.
אזורים?
Very good.
What?
Okay, how about this one? Mountaineer.
Wow.
Mountaineer has 4 and 4.
Something with har, but I wouldn't know.
Okay, well, you're on the right track. You said har, but we're going to say, what's the plural of that?
הרים.
Harim,
Okay, so
yeah.
what is the mountaineer? Somebody who, what does he do?
Climbs.
There you go. So how do we say that?
הרים.
Metapes harim.
יay שלי.
Right, so let's move on. To tame, as in to tame an animal or a husband. I mean, an animal.
Is it
Checking
from
out. Okay.
Is it from the word ragua?
Is it from what word?
Ragua.
No.
Okay.
Can you ask the question again?
Okay, but okay. The word to tame. To tame.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like entertain. It's
No.
similar or
No. In Yiddish is a chaya.
I'll give you a hint. Think of a letter in the alphabet.
Shin.
No.
Aleph.
Right. Aleph. Okay. To tame.
Ah, nice one.
Which someone in the PHI room was interesting. Sometimes they have interesting opinions. He took the word L, which is two letters, Aleph, which is what we mentioned now, Aleph, and Lamed is to learn, right? Lamed, or to teach. So it's interesting that those are two aspects of El, which is God, right? He teaches and he tames.
Wow.
Well, that's an interesting one. Okay, moving on. Tool. 3 letters, tool. Kli. Okay.
So obvious and I missed it.
You know, Kli, I wonder if the root word for Kli is from like kol, from like all, or
Possibly.
or the word kilia, which is kidney, could be related from the word Kli. But going with this kol kind of root word, and this is the beautiful thing. I think Edward's not in the room, but he pointed it out about Arabic and all Semitic languages. And when you have this triconsonantal root, you get to see this conceptually. You get to see what everything else around it is. It just grabs you. Okay, so Kli, right? Kli was the way to say tool. And do you know where the word kalkala comes from, obviously? What do you have in the word kalkala, which is economy?
Also called.
Right, you have the word everything twice in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go on.
Hey, Eitan, I'm really enjoying this.
What?
Hey, I'm really enjoying this. This is great.
Okay, we're trying. All right, let's see now. We got the word group. We got 5-letter what?
Utah.
Okay, what other words can we think of with the same word of group? 2 words.
2 words?
Think of 2 different words. We got kibbutz, Zionistic or equal concept. Kibbutz what?
Memilat Sav?
Kibbutz galuyot.
Oh, wow.
Ingathering of the exile. And when I was a kid, and my dad was driving in the car, I saw the kibbutz galuyot. I was a kid. I actually thought it was a kibbutz, but it's not. It's a street named after a concept. It's a very well-known street. That's the cool thing about street names in Israel. They can have very conceptual names sometimes. You will not find these kinds of, I don't know if you'll find it somewhere else. Maybe anyone who's been anywhere else in the world can tell me interesting conceptual street names. Like, I like this one called
Elonik Imamri.
Race. Yeah.
It's in Efrat, I think. It's Rehov El Mamre in Efrat.
No,
Yeah.
Righteous Son of Jen. Where else are you going to have a street name? Righteous Son of Jen.
Income based. It's not. It really isn't income discrepancy that causes that. That causes us to group in those ways.
It's also a lot of the classism is more at like a political level than an individual level. Like I think very rarely are people like actually I don't know like how often are people like bullied for like their class. I mean I guess I will say it is interesting of like one of the first questions in like U.S. culture when you meet someone you might ask them what they do for work, and that is basically like one step away from asking someone how much money they make. And that's like one of the first questions that we ask people. And I know that in other countries that would be considered a kind of a rude question.
Well,
to,
now look who is classist. Look who is classist. Indian Americans are very classist, right? What do you do for a living is very fucking important, right? Asians, Chinese. My mother-in-law is Chinese, very classist. Black people are classist in the opposite way, but they are too in their own way. They're classist, like culturally speaking. Like they basically have their own language amongst one another that's different than their language with other people. White people don't have that. We have the same language with everybody. So, I mean, if you think about that, that's a level of classism in its own right, even if it's not, even if it's based in poverty and lack of education originally, you know what I mean?
Put me in the queue, Dr. Keegan. I would like to present a universal hypothesis.
I actually want to send you something because I recently changed my. I listened to like a linguistics lecture that talked a lot about like AAVE, and it actually really changed my opinion on it. And I'd like to share it with you if you're interested.
Oh yeah, anything linguistics, I'm really interested. There's a guy here named Heron, and he is a language professor. Retired. Well, he's old, but he's a language professor. And one of the things he talks about is how important words are when we don't even know it. So subconsciously, basically, our brain, our bodies and our mouths throw out words without our brains actually making it happen sometimes. The words come out without the actual thought process involved. So it's almost like an automatic, you call it automatic, like monkey language machine. Well, one of the things he says is the word "the" is exceptionally dangerous because you start talking about the answer, the solution, and it leads us to black and whites and absolutisms that are not helpful in trying to get along with one another. So the most problematic word he says is "the."
I just put the link in the chat. You should save it to like your notes or something, and then you can, if you remember, watch it at your own.
I will.
Okay, moderator, put me in the queue. I'd like to present a universal hypothesis. Okay, so playing off of what Mike and Kevin just said about, words, I'm going to present this universal hypothesis from the perspective of Keegan, an American Christian, about Jesus. Jesus is the baseline. Oh! I got kicked. Couldn't take the vibration.
Everybody has a very high confidence.
About the existential question.
Well, sure. I mean, I have a very high credence that, for instance, atheism is true, right?
What will happen after that?
But according to me, nothing.
You will get reincarnated. You will get reincarnated as a peanut.
Hi, Piper. Please put me in the queue. I would like to present a universal hypothesis about everything.
Okay, you can be in the queue. But, anyway.
Yeah, it's my friend.
That guy's your friend. Okay.
Yeah, we are both gay.
We are both gay.
Phoenix, are you actually gay, or do people say that about you?
No, I'm actually gay. Virgin.
Okay. Now your headphones make so much more sense.
Have you ever heard of such a thing? Have you, virgin gays are like technically talking about nothing. That's the funniest thing about Phoenix here, is virgin gay. This virgin gay guy will waste your time. We're 2 for 2.
Okay. Here's another street name that you may remember. This one got me. I used to live in Yafo. It's called the Yehuda Yamit. Any idea why did they name the street Yehuda Yamit? What got me would be Yamit. Okay, right. So what does it mean if it's Yamit in the feminine form? It's not after Yehuda, a person, right?
So 1 second. Is it possible of the sea?
Yes, it has something to do with the sea.
Okay.
And it's like right off the.
Talking about maybe the city of it?
No. What it it was when the Romans first came to the area. They conquered. Okay, they first came through this area called, by Yafo. Okay, and they made a coin to honor that, and that coin is called Judaeus Marinus. The name of the coin to honor coming into this area of Judea, and they call the Hebrew. The street is named after this coin.
Wow.
So we
That's
have.
interesting. That's just
So we have streets already. We mentioned streets named after what? We have streets named after our mission to save Jewish kids. We have a street named after, we said, righteous among the Gentiles. We have a street named after the biblical / Zionist concept of people's Galiot, in gathering of the exiles. And I'm just thinking of some. Well, here's one.
Hassan, why the hell do you know those things?
Why do I know these things? That's pretty.
because Eitan, if he were allowed to be, hey Alex, I'll take potpourri for his mouse.
I gotta get this my inspiration. I want to be the Jeopardy guy.
There you go. Shamir, you know the Jeopardy's in the United States?
Yeah, I know what you're thinking about.
Right. So potpourri is kind of like miscellaneous. So that would be Eitan.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Street names are really interesting because there's no way that you haven't spent your life and without questioning street names because either they're connected to concepts, history, or people.
Yeah.
Not where I grew up, but okay.
That's why precisely I blame the Baklava and the blocks.
That's okay. Oh my god.
Well, if we're going to go on food, okay, there actually is, you guys are going to kill me for this, there's actually, somewhere in suburban Chicago, intersection of Hamburger Avenue and Ronald McDonald something street. And you know where that is? That is in Oak Brook, Illinois, because they have the campus of Hamburger University there, and that's where they train managers of McDonald's. He knows what I'm talking about. Subscribe, right?
No, I never heard of that, but I always get Oak Park and Oak Brook confused.
Oh, they're two radically different places, but yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
They're kind of close, right?
Yeah. Oak Park kind of reminds you of Evanston in a way, because of the way of the nature of the community. Integrated communities. Yes. But Oak Park has the Frank Lloyd Wright homes.
Yeah. Wasn't he a vehement anti-Semite?
Was he?
I bet you he was the type of anti-Semite you hear on this app today, but maybe even more toxic because he was a Native American English person. I mean, I heard he's like a radical anti-Semite.
I have to look that up.
And so, anyways, all the cancellation stuff, they don't ever cancel anybody who's an anti-Semite.
No. But that Oak Park, do you know who came from Oak Park?
Yeah, the famous guy, the author, right? What's his name?
Yeah. Ernest Hemingway.
Yeah, the Hemingway house is there, and then next to the Hemingway house is the Hemingway Cafe, which is kind of a beautiful little older restaurant. It's just old, but it's beautiful.
Right. So I recommend anyone going to Chicago, if you're going to do the off the beaten track, they go to that museum. It's gorgeous.
What is it, River Forest?
What's going on here?
Excuse me?
What?
The Hemingway Cafe in Paris.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Central Street name, and this is named after. I'm going to tell you the name. See if anyone can say what it is. By the Tachana Merkavit, the Central Bus Station. When you walk down,
Which city?
the Central Bus Station.
Because I felt like she called the news too soon before we knew what happened, and then they said that I was being insensitive, but they said that I looked like a drug user, and I thought that them saying that to me was a very mean thing for her to say to me.
So they say what they say because you're married to a Christian and they're jealous.
I love your PTR, El Normo. It's beautiful. What a great photo.
That's Wanda Sykes, I believe, and they look like twins from the same like parent.
It
Like
looks like the cover of a movie. You should put a movie title underneath it.
they look like they could be twins. I wonder if me and El Normo are related.
Of course, it's not Wanda Sykes. It's Waris Deary, who is a quite famous model.
Oh, I think I'm racist. Oh my gosh.
And no, I don't think you are. And also,
Oh, she kind of looks like her. What's this person's name?
Waris Deary. She's a chevalier of the Legion of Honor in France. And she's an what do you call that mutilation? Female FGM. She's an anti-FGM activist.
What is that, like a Muslim practice of labia reduction or something?
I don't want to spell it out, but
It's circumcision. Female circumcision.
That's what it is.
Or clitoral removal, I guess.
You didn't have to spell it out.
Well, I just want to be clear. I mean,
Just what it is.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That's a mutilation. That's pretty brutal. It's terrible to do to somebody. I mean, should be, where's the United Nations on that one?
They have committees against it.
Is it also like primarily an African thing to do and not necessarily like a Muslim Arab thing?
Yes, absolutely.
And they do it in Pakistan as well.
So what Amos is technically trying to do here then is let's coexist not just with each other, but let's coexist with the clitoris. Alish is God. The clitoris is God. I mean, it's the inversion of the phallus. It's
not inverted.
No, it's the opposite gender of the phallus.
How did you do yesterday, Amos? Did you have to stop your work?
If I have to stop my work, why?
For driving a bus.
There was bus attacks. There was 3 coordinated bus attacks, but I think that they were able to get before any damage occurred, right?
Yes.
Or any injuries.
I will do those buses. That's true.
That's why I asked.
It's like midnight. We'll take a telephone bandage.
Amos, when I went to Israel, this soldier told us that he did this. There was a threat that some Arab guy in a village's car had a bomb underneath it. So they went to the guy's front door and they said, "Hey, we got notification that you may have, an explosive device underneath your vehicle. We'd like to examine your vehicle." He says the Arab father said, "Fuck off." He said, "Muhammad, get in that fucking car and drive it around the neighborhood and come back." And he says, "See, no fucking bomb on the car." That was the father's response. I believe that's a true story.
I don't know. I don't like the story which is not famous. I wouldn't take it as serious as it is. Nobody knows. Right now, you know that we get back the fourth body.
Fourth or false?
Fourth. They give Muslim woman instead of Shiraz, instead of the woman with the mother of the 2 kids. They give the 2 kids, but they give a fourth mother. The Muslim body, not the real one. So Israel make a lot of noise. So very straight away tonight, right now, they release another body.
So what do they do? Like send the remains to 23andMe or Ancestry.com? I mean, how do they know?
They make a, yeah, have a checking body in Abu Kabir. We check it. Everybody through the teeth, through the bars, there is a lot
Right.
of checking. It's the real body.
Yeah. The dental records always tell the tale. Interesting how dental records often come up in legal issues with regards to murder and things like that.
Very unique.
Normal, I bought a book on Yiddish songs, and it's just so much fun, like reading these Yiddish songs. They're all beautiful and wonderful. It's called, it's like a Yiddish song hymnal book or whatever.
It's an inherently fun language. It's sort of inherently comical and sort of joyous, ironic. It's a fun language.
Yeah, I like the German feeling in it too. There's so many words where it's like just the sounds that it makes. You can tell that it's got this like German inspiration or corollary to it. It is basically fun. Yeah, it is a fun thing. I assume German it could be fun, but I feel like Yiddish would be more fun than German.
Almost, I can't remember. Were you part Iraqi? I can't remember now. Iraq. Where were your parents from?
My mother is Yemenite and my father is Austrian.
So interesting, so beautiful. So I can imagine you must be them. So the Yemenites, do they have an Arab Hebrew combo that wherever the Jews go, they have like a combo language that they speak? Like the Jews of Spain speak Ladino, like Arab Jewish or Arab Hebrew. Did you have one?
Because you come from every country and it's, of course,
I mean Yemen.
Yeah. Of course, Yemen make a lot of joke. I think the country that make the most joke is Yemen.
Oh really?
Yes, the most joke on the Yemenites. Yes. But every country has the jokes.
I feel like their food is the best. That is incorrect. Well, I mean for us, I like the filigree.
Food is also one of the best food there. That's true. The Yemenite bread, the Yemenite jachnu,
The jachnu.
Yeah.
There's a kosher Yemenite place here in the Jewish area, and I go there. I used to go just for the jachnu.
Yes, everybody. And I'm sure that you find the chuch and you find the spug and you find
the food. Absolutely. Food. Do they make the jachnu with butter or margarine?
I have a place close to me, the village of Holy Yemen, which make everything. They make jachnu from any taste you want, from butter, from a lot of, even from honey. They make it with taste of honey, yes. There is jachnu in any taste you want.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, Malawas is not necessarily Yemenite. Malawas is everywhere, no?
And they the base down from Yemen also. Every country has the kind of making the food, but the most known, the most tasty, the most people like to talk about bread is coming from Yemen because they have the most different kind of bread. Jachon is a kind of bread. How do you make the... But let's talk about coexistence now. Step A is finished next week. On Saturday we get 6 nice more.
Shalom, Alos.
Shalom, Yirmiyahu. You think we can make existed between Edward and Shuki?
No, not at all.
You know,
There's
Amos.
probably the same likelihood of existence between the Israelis and the Gazans.
Amos, you know, there's a girl I wanted to take her out on a date, and she said, well, she messaged me back. She said, if we don't get along, you know, something. The point is, I told her, well, if that's the way you feel, then it's a you problem. So if you can answer the riddle of you, or essentially it's kind of like saying the riddle of the Sphinx or the riddle of Israel, you'll realize it's not a you problem. It's a you problem, meaning it goes for everybody. But if you're a Muslim and you're Palestinian and you refuse to essentially blend or realize that there's a greater life riddle, then this debate will go nowhere. You're essentially talking in a forest to a stone to, you know, no one listening. I mean, this deals with enlightenment. So if they can't essentially get off track with their J word propaganda and depoliticize and stop being, you know, real politique, I mean, you're wasting your time too because you're not talking about bigger, more important, more complicated issues, which is really reality and God and the universe and coexistence. I mean, I guess you are in coexistence because you're trying to create a balance, but it's just my analysis that you're wasting a lot of time talking to stones in a forest and there's nobody there to listen to your tree falling because you're talking to automatons. They refuse to depoliticize and essentially spiritualize. That's my opinion.
I'm having trouble following what you're saying.
He's just trolling it. But
He's not trolling. This is his thing. You know, he's got this thing. Sometimes I understand it, sometimes not.
the Jews ever at fault for anything.
Do you want to? Why do you ask? Do you want to explain it, Edmund?
Yeah, I can. I mean, you can insult me all you want, but that's, to me, that's just your projection. I mean, you're criticizing yourself when you insult somebody else. So I'm talking about, okay, great for you. Good for you. I'm so happy for you. And the point is, I'm talking about equilibrium, balance, silence, stillness. This is the truth. And when you open your mouth and you ask a question or you answer a question, you are disrupting a vibration of stillness and peace and equilibrium that already exists. Thus, you enter into the realm of politic. And so if you're polite about it, you know, you can get away with it. But if you just insult people, you'll never succeed in what you're doing. So I say reflect, don't deflect.
Well, reflection requires them to look in the mirror, and they have a hard time doing that.
I think both sides do. That's the problem. Is Palestinians and Israelis are very similar in the worst kind of ways. Both stubborn. Both believe that the world revolves around them, and both believe they have a right to something that truly belongs to both people.
Listen, in Israel right now it's midnight, 12 o'clock. And I like at 12 o'clock to speak.
See, this is where you're wrong again. It doesn't exist for both people. It exists for people who live in balance, who live in harmony, who live in joy, not for terrorist murderers who break the law and kill people. Those people will suffer justice. That's why you're stupid, because you don't understand law.
Why do you have to do stupid?
It's not a script. You have that, and moral, you have that I want to speak.
Sorry, go ahead.
Is it okay that I speak in my room? You know, the rules they show me out. They don't let me speak. At least I open a room that I can speak. And I say right now it's 12 o'clock midnight in Israel. And at 12 o'clock midnight, I like to take my 2-3 minutes to speak in my room. That's why I always invite people to come at 12 o'clock to my room. Because at 12 o'clock, some things that change one day to another. And make another day hope that it will be better than the day before. The day before, the Hamas sent us a false body, and we all hope Israel in all the pressure that we will get this body already. They give it tonight, like it's make the way way to Abu Kabir, a place where they're going to check the body to see if this is the real mother of the children. What I want to say is that I feel the Hamas wanted more than Israel. It's the first time that I suspect the Israelis don't want the peace agreement. They want to spoil and go back to war. That's, I put the resistance is here at most. The resistance, be quiet. I take the microphone and speak, and I ask the people, please be quiet when I speak. You speak now. Including resistance, please. And when I see, and I'm so much in the pressure, so I want to speak to everybody. My pressure inside that Israel is waiting. Like, you see, the Hamas make a mistake, it's straight away. They give back the body. They admit that they make a mistake, and I hope that Israel will check in Abu Kabir the body, and it will be the real body, not false body. Anyway, I hope that the people of Israel realize and understand that it's not only Hamas who is now want a war, it's also Bibi who want to keep his coalition. He wants Israel to go back to a war that nobody wants it. And I really hope the Hamas will finish, I think, next week. It's the last time. The Hamas will finish step A. Only I'm talking about step A because it will stack the coalition. Why? Because they don't conversation with the Hamas about step B, C, and finish the war. I understand Trump promised the Palestinians that the war will be finished. And I feel the first time that Israel is looking for a war, not for a peace. I suspect. Maybe I'm wrong. Which I hope that they will see. We will see.
Yeah, but you got to realize it's always going to be a wrestling act. That's the name Israel and Jacob. I mean, the Shekhinah is now. Mashiach now. It's a dance. It's a wrestling event. This is not going to stop. It's an eternal dance. It's a spinning cycle. That's what the universe is doing.
Wrestling.
It's a funeral procession. That's what the Tao Te Ching book says on wisdom, that all wars are funeral processions. I mean, it's true. It's just the leadership watching their population get picked off. It's brutal, but that is not stopping. It won't stop. A funeral procession, it just seems to be like part of the eternal dance. It's horrific, but it does seem to be the constant. So, if you're not teaching meditation, then what you're doing is just, kind of creating more hopefully coexistence. But I mean, if you really want to create coexistence, you should essentially try to teach meditation, or try to, help bring balance and peace to the people in these rooms. I mean, I think you do.
If meditation will help the people solving problems, I support that. Right now, nobody thinks not about meditation, not about nothing, only about finishing step A.
No, the whole thing is meditation. It's just a larger word for media, which is really memetics. So you could talk to this guy Resistance here. His memetics are terrible. I would say that they probably match his personal life. Sometimes people project the way they're feeling in this horrifically negative, way, like Resistance does.
I can hear you talking. You seem to me to be a sexual offender. The way you talk seems to me like you prey on children.
That might be a projection of your own existence, sir.
You projecting. See, once you mention my name, your credibility went out the window.
Well, I'm just saying you use negative speech. That's all I'm merely saying.
You use negative speech, and you side with genocide. So what?
No, I don't side with genocide. I side with the law. I side with the law. Do you know how to spell the law? And what does the law mean to you in one sentence, Resistance? What's the law?
The law of where? America?
I'll ask you one more time. Define the word law. Go ahead. Just tell us the word law. No, just give us one sentence definition for the word law.
sir?
I'm complete. I'm finished asking my
What
question.
law are you talking about,
Just
sir?
define the word law.
Different laws have different meaning. Because I only acknowledge God's laws. Amos, do you see Israel's trying to further the genocide by planting those bombs on the bus?
Hey Amos, I got some good advice for you, and I'll just interrupt this turd. If I were you, I would just close Clubhouse. I'm just gonna talk over you. I would just close Clubhouse and maybe read some poetry instead of letting this toxic rat from the streets of hell even communicate with you. Resistance is essentially a fallen man, a failure of a human being who projects his despicable, horrific words upon you and other people. He should be removed from the app. He should be thoroughly reported. And in fact, Department of Homeland Security and the FBI should head to his Upper East Side apartment and pick his rat ass up and put this rat piece of shit in fucking jail where this creature belongs. I am complete, Amos, and I hope for coexistence for those who obey the law, not rat pieces of shit like resistance. You are human excrement. You are human filth. You are a detestable black brother from hell. Go back to hell, demon, where you came from, and disappear into the nothing that you emit, you vile, disgusting, rat piece of shit resistance. You are filth. You are disgusting. You are stupid. You are an idiot, and you smell like shit. I wonder how it sounds for Amos. I wonder if he's laughing.
People can do whatever they want. Animals can do whatever they want because there is no rule, there is no guiding principles, there is nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see. I'm trying to. Okay, we're gonna do the easy one.
Tea or teeth?
T.
Hey.
Dave, right. I'm trying to complete one here, but let's see. Okay, to your 4 letters.
Say it again, please.
To your 4 letters. Beginning with the lamed.
Eitan, I got a question for you. When people say, Eretz Yisrael, is that translation I love Israel, or I love the sun god? Is that like, could you translate it that way?
Eretz, actually, Hasidic explanation once said the word Eretz is like Eretz, I will run, and Rat, running, is related to the word Ratzon, wanting, because when you want something, you run to it, kind of deal. Are we going with this? Eretz Yisrael. Subscribe.
Yeah, I mean, run would be the word, I guess. I mean, I don't know, how you break it down. I actually just bought a book on Hebrew grammar, and it's like reading. It's like hieroglyphics. I have no understanding of Hebrew whatsoever. So, but it does have like a transliterative. But it's very complicated. It's like unbelievable how much attention you would have to pay to try to even utilize the communication, not in like an environment that is already operating in it. It's difficult to want to learn a language when you can't actually observe it in the environment.
Yes, interesting. And paying attention to all the nuances, you're right, gets lost in everyday speech. Here's the shortcut in grammar that I like. Jimmy probably knows this one for sure, man. To say the future, okay? The future of like, how do we say the future? I will
arrive?
Itagia.
And how do you say we will arrive?
Nagia.
Okay, and we call them Otiot Eitan.
Wow, very cool, Eitan.
So yeah, if you want to remember, Linda, if you want to remember the future, like future tenses, just remember the Otiot Eitan. But
I sort of, right.
What?
Yeah, I sort of know future tenses. Sort of. My thing is usually in plurals of Hanukeba. That sometimes I don't have that.
Wait a minute now, the Hanukkah, you know what's wonderful for this, for the exceptions of the Hanukkah?
No.
I'm gonna, oh, this is great. You guys remember the Isha Yarok?
Yes.
And we done this one, right?
We did.
What did the Isha Yarok have? He lived in the Bayit. Bayit Yarok, and he slept in Mita Yeruka. And you, Nalai, Yeru. Oh, no, Linda. Nalai,
I guess you don't cook.
right.
Right, but I still don't have that. Absolutely not.
By the way, are you everyone familiar with the Elon Gilad? Elon Gilad does like Hebrew bits. He's on Instagram. ELONGILAD. And I really recommend if you want to know more about Hebrew English. He's got these 3-minute clips and he always ends up with, now you know.
Okay.
I really recommend that. And if you want to get something interesting in the mail about the Hebrew language, get Rubik Rosenthal's weekly letter. Fascinating. And if you're close to a radio, I recommend listening to we call the Pina of Avshalom Kor. Great guy. I met him personally.
Oh, yeah? How he's realized?
He's tall. The guy's tall. He's ridiculously tall. But he's a very funny guy. He tells jokes as he's talking to you. He's very humble. I admire this guy because he's just the number one famous linguist in Israel. He used to do the, Linda, did you ever see the Chidona Tanakh?
No, but I know about it.
Yeah, I recommend it if you're interested. YouTube it.
Do you think he can honestly be a Christian with the stuff that he propagates now?
I'll be honest. I think that Christians, like in God's sovereignty, I think that there are some levels that we can go that can get quite dark, and oftentimes you'll find that it's not as lovely. But I think that believers who do go to that extent got a harsh whoop in the head, as we know the scripture is declared. So do I believe that LeBron is a brother? I would lean on the side of no. Is it possible? I would say so. And again, at one period of time, he used to hold to biblical doctrine. Like he was holding to the Trinity, biblical gospel. I don't even know what he would even affirm you need to do to be saved at this point. But at one period of time, he used to hold to the gospel that you need to believe and trust in Christ and believe Jesus is God, the Trinity. But he did. I do remember being had like a fallout because his antics, man. It started with him disagreeing with eternal security, but then it was like those antics that caused it to go to a different level. That it was like, yeah, man. That's when that whole vocab thing happened. I'm like, man, I can't even go because I can't. That type of behavior just ain't. It's just unacceptable.
Hi, moderators, put me in the queue. I want to ask a question.
It's all good, bro.
I don't even know the story. I know who vocab alone is, but I don't know what you're referring to that happened with him. And it sounds like it's something bad though.
You don't know the
Yeah,
gossip?
like I said, it was just he was coming out to Chicago to meet with the ISPK because they were starting to become a big thing. I live out in Illinois, like I'm about 30 minutes outside of Chicago. But
is because yes, the first steps are things like what Chooks has mentioned, right? That those the first steps and actually it goes deeper stuff like that.
Hi, moderators. I'm so confused. When did a woman ever give up her life?
For example,
For the greater good, that is.
everything's good. I'm just gonna start.
Not just the foreigner, it's things that other people assume too. That's what I'm saying.
Is this the victimization room of victims complaining about their victim status?
You don't understand the black community with Mama Jazz.
This black man today just told me I was on welfare. He's not white or anything, so I don't know. That's what I'm saying. You can't ask me what triggers different people.
So would it be, because I'm thinking the best way to trigger them is to come as with more social programs and say that because black people are on welfare, we need to do this to support them. Things like that.
I don't know. I can't help people.
Well, I'm here to support you because you need my support, and that's the energy, basically.
I don't know.
So in religion, all religious acts.
Program will allow seniors to receive up to.
Tao Te Ching can be translated as the book of the imminence of the way, or the Book of the Way and of how it manifests itself in the world, or simply the Book of the Way. Since it is already well known by its Chinese title, I have let that stand. About Lao Tzu, its author, there's practically nothing to be said. He may have been an older contemporary of Confucius, 551 to 479 BCE, and may have held the position of archive keeper in one of the petty kingdoms of the time. But all the information that has come down to us is highly suspect. Even the meaning of his name is uncertain. The most likely interpretations, the old